Space looks peaceful from down here. Blue planets, swirling clouds, golden rings catching sunlight. What the NASA posters won't ever tell you is that every single one of those beautiful worlds is a death trap waiting for visitors. Mercury will melt you by day and freeze you solid by night. Venus will crush you flat while dissolving your skin in acid rain. Jupiter doesn't even have a surface. You just sink and sink until the pressure turns you into paste. Today, I'm walking you through 20 horrifying ways the solar system would kill you. Grab your coffee. This gets dark. Let's start at the center, the sun. You wouldn't even get close. At 4 million miles out, the radiation alone would cook you from the inside. Your cells would rupture. Your skin would blister and peel. And that's before you feel any heat. Get within 1 million miles, and plasma temperatures reach 3.5 million degrees Fahrenheit. You wouldn't burn. You'd vaporize. One moment you exist, the next, scattered atoms drifting through solar wind. No pain, no time to scream, just gone. Mercury comes next, the planet closest to that inferno. During the day, surface temperatures hit 800 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead, zinc, and your spacesuit's outer shell. But Mercury has no atmosphere to trap heat. When the sun sets, temperatures plunge to negative 290 degrees. Your blood would crystallize. Your eyeballs would freeze solid in their sockets. 2 deaths on one planet, burn by day, shatter by night. Venus looks peaceful from orbit. Thick white clouds, soft golden glow. Scientists once thought jungles might hide beneath that haze. They were wrong. The atmosphere is 96% carbon dioxide, 90 times denser than Earth's. Step onto Venus and that pressure hits you like standing at the bottom of an ocean 3,000 feet deep. Your ribcage collapses inward. Your lungs flatten like deflated balloons. But maybe the pressure doesn't kill you first. Those beautiful clouds are sulfuric acid. As you fall through them, your skin dissolves layer by layer. And if somehow you survive the acid and the crushing weight, the surface waits at 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Hotter than Mercury, despite being farther from the sun. The greenhouse effect turned Venus into an oven that never cools. 3 deaths. Crushed, dissolved, and baked. Mars seems friendlier. Elon Musk wants to build cities there. NASA talks about colonies. Here's what they don't emphasize. The Martian atmosphere is less than 1% as dense as Earth's. Step outside without a suit, and you have about 15 seconds of consciousness. Your lungs can't extract oxygen from air that thin. You gasp, you stumble, you collapse. But suffocation might be merciful compared to what comes next. Average surface temperature sits around negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Exposed skin freezes in minutes. Frostbite sets in fast. Then tissue death. Then you're a frozen statue on red sand. And even if you stayed inside a heated habitat, Mars has no magnetic field. Cosmic rays and solar radiation bombard the surface constantly. On Earth, our magnetic field deflects most of that. On Mars, it passes right through you. DNA damage accumulates. Cancers develop within months. 3 more deaths. Suffocated, frozen, and irradiated. Now we leave the rocky planets behind. Jupiter awaits, the largest planet in our solar system. 11 Earths could fit across its diameter. And here's the thing about Jupiter that changes everything. There is no surface. It's gas all the way down. You don't land on Jupiter, you sink. At first, you'd fall through hydrogen clouds, temperatures dropping to negative 230 degrees, frozen solid within seconds. But let's say your vessel somehow protects you. You keep descending. Pressure builds. At a certain depth, the hydrogen around you compresses into liquid. Deeper still, it becomes metallic hydrogen, a state of matter that doesn't exist naturally on Earth. The pressure at Jupiter's core reaches roughly 650 million pounds per square inch. For comparison, the deepest ocean trench on Earth exerts about 16,000 pounds per square inch. You would be crushed into something unrecognizable long before you got anywhere near the center. But maybe pressure isn't what gets you. Jupiter's radiation belts are 1,000 times more intense than what would kill a human. Spacecraft passing through have their electronics fried. The Galileo probe lasted only 58 minutes before contact was lost. 3 deaths on Jupiter alone. Frozen, crushed, and irradiated beyond recognition. Saturn waits beyond Jupiter. Another gas giant. Another world with no solid ground. The same crushing descent awaits anyone who enters its atmosphere. You'd fall through ammonia clouds at -280 degrees Fahrenheit. Ice crystals would form in your bloodstream. Your heart would stop before you reach the liquid hydrogen layer. But Saturn offers a death Jupiter can't match: the rings. From Earth, those rings look peaceful, golden bands circling a butterscotch world. Up close, they're billions of chunks of ice and rock, some the size of houses, all moving at 40,000 miles per hour. Enter the ring plane, and you're not floating through a gentle stream. You're walking into a cosmic shotgun blast, shredded, pulverized, scattered across 1 billion miles of orbital debris. 2 deaths on Saturn, crushed in the atmosphere or torn apart by the rings. Uranus comes next, the coldest planetary atmosphere in our solar system, -371 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, your body wouldn't just freeze, it would become brittle. Drop a frozen human from that height and they'd shatter like glass on impact. But the cold isn't working alone. Uranus has winds screaming at 560 miles per hour. Hurricane force feels gentle by comparison. Those winds would rip you apart while you crystallize, scattering frozen fragments across methane clouds that stretch for thousands of miles. 2 more deaths. Flash frozen and wind shredded simultaneously. Neptune sits at the edge of the giant planets, even colder than Uranus in some layers, -373 degrees Fahrenheit. The same instant freezing applies. But Neptune has something special waiting for visitors: diamond rain. The pressure inside Neptune's atmosphere compresses carbon atoms so violently that they crystallize into actual diamonds. These gemstones fall through the atmosphere like hailstones, pelting anything in their path at terminal velocity. It sounds beautiful until you realize you'd be the target, frozen solid while diamonds punch through you at hundreds of miles per hour. 2 deaths. Bitter cold and gemstone bombardment. Pluto waits in the darkness beyond. Once a planet, now a dwarf planet, always a death trap. Surface temperature averages -387 degrees Fahrenheit. So cold that nitrogen freezes solid. The atmosphere is so thin it barely exists. Step onto Pluto and you'd experience both freezing and suffocation simultaneously. Your lungs would collapse trying to breathe nothing. Your blood would crystallize in your veins. In the dim sunlight that far out, the sun looks like just another bright star. You die in darkness, frozen and gasping, billions of miles from anything that could save you. And then there's the space between worlds, the vacuum itself. No atmosphere, no pressure, no protection. In the void, your blood doesn't freeze first, it boils. At 0 external pressure, the boiling point of liquid drops to body temperature. Blood vessels rupture from the inside. Lungs burst, trying to equalize pressure that isn't there. You'd have roughly 15 seconds of consciousness, 15 seconds of awareness while your body tears itself apart from within. Then, nothing. Drifting through infinite emptiness forever. 20 ways to die. Every planet, every moon, every empty stretch of solar system engineered by physics to end human life in creative and horrifying ways. And here's what all of this really means. We evolved on the one rock in our cosmic neighborhood where the temperature stays survivable, where the atmosphere contains oxygen, where a magnetic field deflects radiation, where water exists as liquid. Earth isn't just home, it's a miracle of margins. A few degrees warmer and we'd be Venus. A few degrees colder and we'd be Mars. A little less mass and we'd have no atmosphere at all. We dream of the stars. We build rockets and plan colonies and imagine futures among distant planets. But the planets don't want us. They never did. The solar system is beautiful the way a predator is beautiful. Admired from a distance, through glass, behind the safety of 93 million miles. Tell me which death surprised you most. Drop it in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell because next week we're exploring something else they never put in the brochures. Remember, the universe doesn't care about your survival. Only Earth does. That's worth protecting.